Shavua Tov. Welcome back to a new week with me, Rolene Marks, right here on the Israel Brief, brought to you as always by Lay of the Land. What a weekend it was. What a massive weekend for news. I think we're all still reeling over the news about the attempted assassination of former President Trump and everything that went on. Wow, what a weekend. But I do have to say, as somebody who is a monarchist, one real bright spark was seeing the Princess of Wales, Princess Catherine, making her second appearance in the year as she undergoes preventative chemotherapy. I think she brought such a smile to so many people around the world, as was evidenced by her standing ovation in Wimbledon. I think in these very dark and uncertain times, whenever we see something that brings us joy, it is time to celebrate it. But for us here in Israel, it is day 283 of our war with Hamas, following the atrocities of the 7th of October committed by Hamas when they invaded Israeli sovereign territory and committed murder, mutilation, torture, rape, and kidnapped over 250 people. At the moment, there are still 120 hostages that remain captive, including 2 babies, Ariel and Kfir Bibas. We want all of them home now. Release them now. I can't believe that we are fast approaching 300 days, which means we are well past the 9-month mark and nearly 300 days of unbearable torture for our hostages. But let's take a look at those top stories as we do every Monday to Thursday. And we begin with the biggest news story in the world, the attempted assassination of former President Trump, who is running as the Republican candidate. He is expected, according to current polls, to win by a landslide. So how did Israel react? We had an absolute unequivocal condemnation from our head of state, President Herzog, who on behalf of all of the people of Israel wished the president a safe and speedy recovery, and said that our thoughts are also with those that were injured and the family of the spectator that was killed. Prime Minister Netanyahu also expressing his condemnation, saying, Sarah and I are shocked at the attempted assassination of former President Trump, and we wish him a speedy recovery. Israel's leader of the opposition, Yair Lapid, said that this was dangerous and an attack like this, an existential attack like this on democracy was very, very dangerous, and also wished the former and possibly soon to be President of the United States a swift and speedy recovery. And Benny Gantz, the leader of the National Unity Party, said that the United States is the most resilient country and that the American people are resilient and will come out on top, and of course wished Trump a speedy and safe recovery. And I think we all do. I think no matter where you stand on the political spectrum, it is a horrific event to have occurred, and our thoughts and our prayers are with the family of the spectator who was killed in the assassination attempt. Now, this wasn't the only attempted assassination. There was a pinpoint and precision strike on Saturday in Gaza. What happened there? So this is very, very newsworthy, because thanks to very, very precise intelligence and a precise strike, Israel has confirmed that we eliminated Rafah Salameh, who was the commander of Hamas for Khan Yunis. He also helped to plan the 7th of October attacks and also helped to plan the tunneling under Khan Yunis. Now, his death has been confirmed, but what hasn't been confirmed yet was Mohammed Deif, who is one of the most sought after or wanted terrorists that Israel has on our wanted list, second only to Yahya Sinwar. It hasn't been confirmed yet. I want to be very clear, despite what you might see on social media. Prime Minister Netanyahu confirmed on Saturday night that it is still not confirmed, and the IDF Chief of Staff has said they are still working to confirm whether or not Deif was killed in the airstrike as well. But he also reiterated that Israel will go after all those who are wanted for terrorism and for the attacks on the 7th of October. On Thursday, just after we came off air, the IDF presented the interim findings to the residents of Kibbutz Be'eri. Kibbutz Be'eri was one of the worst hit communities on the 7th of October, and the army has conducted their own internal investigation as to what happened that day. So I'm going to read a little bit of what the report has said. It says that the attack began at 6:30 a.m. with 340 Hamas terrorists infiltrating the kibbutz. By 9 a.m., Be'eri was fully occupied, with residents having to defend themselves. The IDF forces did not enter until 1:30, hours after the first initial assault. Some IDF units arrived but retreated after sustaining casualties, failing to assist residents effectively. The investigation deemed this delay a significant professional error. Now, why this is important is that Israel is a democracy. Our army, if they do anything that does not fall within their ethics or morals, or make a mistake, they are duty bound as a democratic army to investigate it, and investigated they have. The kibbutz faced a complete takeover, and the residents' struggle to fend off the attackers for several hours was highlighted as a notable act of bravery. The IDF managed to regain full control of Be'eri only by the next day, the 8th of October, after deploying substantial forces. The investigation was led by retired General Mickey Edelstein and included hundreds of interviews with residents, security personnel, and military officials. It also used a lot of intelligence sources such as intercepted communications and surveillance footage. The IDF has acknowledged a critical lapse in anticipating a large-scale infiltration, which led to inadequate defense preparation, and found that security forces outside of Be'eri were unaware of the severity of the situation inside, contributing to their delay. The IDF Chief of Staff, Herzi Halevi, admits that the military's failure to protect the kibbutz residents, calling it a severe oversight. We also know that 5 police officers arrived and were called elsewhere to the Nova Festival, where they fought for about half an hour before returning to their station in Ofakim and engaging in battle there. One of the very, very important accusations on Kibbutz Be'eri was the alleged shelling by a tank of Pesci Cohen's house, and the army investigated this into great detail, and the 13 hostages that were killed were not killed as a result of a tank shell. Despite what you might see on social media by Israel's detractors, they were not killed by a tank shell. It is believed that they could have been killed in the exchange of very, very heavy gunfire, a very, very intense gunfight between terrorists who were holed up in the house and the IDF who were fighting them. 2 civilians were injured as a result of shrapnel from the tank fire. But again, to reiterate, no civilian was killed as a result of the tank fire. So we can put that accusation to bed. And finally, the United Kingdom's Foreign Secretary David Lammy has arrived in Israel. He met earlier today with President Herzog, who spoke to him about the plight of our hostages and also about the strong ties between the United Kingdom and the State of Israel. The Foreign Secretary is expected to present the stance of the United Kingdom, which is to support a two-state solution and a state for the Palestinians as part of a negotiated peace process. This is not differing at all from the Tory administration's stance on Israel and the Palestinians. He also said they will work for an immediate ceasefire, but calls for the immediate release of the hostages. He also met his counterpart, Foreign Minister Israel Katz, and will meet with Prime Minister Netanyahu, as well as visiting Yad Vashem, Israel's Holocaust Memorial and Museum. He is expected to travel to Ramallah to meet with Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian Authority president. Now, very interesting, yesterday Mahmoud Abbas condemned Hamas and accused them of prolonging Israel's war inside the Gaza Strip. This is quite a departure from previous times where he has not said anything. And we know that while there is internecine fighting between Hamas and Fatah, a comment like this is quite extraordinary. And also, I just want to make mention of an exceptional lady who passed away this weekend at the age of 96, Dr. Ruth Westheimer, the legendary sexologist. We all remember the diminutive Dr. Ruth. She was a Holocaust survivor. She also served in the Haganah. She was trained as a sniper, and although she didn't see combat, she was a great advocate not only for Israel and the rights of the Jewish people to have our ancient homeland in Israel, but also for the role of women fighting in the armed forces. She made speaking about sex an important discussion. She brought it out of the taboo and into the open. She was absolutely iconic, and may her memory be eternally blessed. So that's it from today, from the teeth back in, from the Israel brief for today. Oh wait, audience question. How could I forget? Because I know if I forget my audience question, I get a strong rap on the knuckles. So the question comes from Itamar, who wants to know, what are Israel's Olympic hopes? Well, Itamar, I can tell you that we're all going to be standing behind Israel going, El Israel, go Israel. And I think our hopes are pretty good. We are excellent. We've taken gold medals for judo in various competitions. I think we've got very strong hopes with Artem Dolkopiat in the men's gymnastics, with the rhythmic gymnastics. We took gold in the last Olympics. My hopes are on Ashley Bond and her beautiful horse Donatello. We've taken gold in windsurfing. So you know what? Israel's here. We're here to compete, and I think that we will see our fair share of medals in both the Olympics and the Paralympics. We are extremely proud of our Paralympians. Many of them being veterans from the IDF. And no matter what, we are super proud of them. They are all winners in our eyes. And of course, we will have your updates right here on the Israel Brief. But in the meantime, please check out our website at www.layoftheland.online, our Facebook community at Lottel's site. Read all about how hotels are accommodating pets for those families evacuated from the north and the south. If you enjoy our content, we're right here on YouTube at the Israel Brief. Please hit that like, share, subscribe, and we are on X at Lay of the Land 5. And if you want to subscribe to our newsletter, please be in touch with us via our website. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.